Hello, welcome back to my channel. It is so lovely to see you here today. My name is Leisha if you're new here, and in this video I am going to be sharing 5 of the top habits that I think will help you to reinvent yourself as a mother. And also, if you are looking for some habits to work on just to level up your life a bit more, these are my top 5 go-tos. I will say that I have, prior to motherhood, been working on bringing more elegance into my everyday life, leveling up my career, working with my husband on making more income and those sorts of things, just being smart. You know, we have a lot of big goals. So I am an ambitious woman, and just because I now have I have a toddler and baby number 2 is on the way, that does not mean that I have to only have that mommy wine and Netflix time to look forward to at the end of each day. I think that there's obviously so much more to life for that. I don't think that, I need to put my goals on pause just because I am a mother. I think that it's important to realize, of course, that there are going to be seasons where you do have to put the brakes on a little bit and slow down, and then there are going to be seasons where you will know where the gas pedal is so you can speed up and get back into that path that you want to be on. Let's go ahead and let's get started with the first habit that I think is so important. Okay, so the first thing that I realized early on, now I unfortunately did go through some postpartum depression, and a lot of it was almost like I was mourning the loss of my life before I became a mother and realizing that things needed to change. There's a huge learning curve with your first baby, right? Any of the moms that are well seasoned, I would love to have your tips and advice in the comments below as well in this video. If you can speak to that and relate to it with your first, we would love to hear that. Before I had my firstborn, I remember that I was very focused on consuming content, media, books, everything around going after higher heights in my career. I was very focused on following other women who didn't even have children and were building businesses. And I had also a lot of style, even just the way that I was working on presenting myself better, learning to speak and all of that. A lot of that was coming from women who did not have a family, who were maybe even a little younger than I was. And I started to realize it was like a light bulb went off in my head. I've got to start finding some other moms online. I've got to find some content that is going to help me to get through these learning curves with a baby. And so I switched gears for a little while on that. And for the first few months especially, I was in that fog almost of having a newborn. I took a step back from posting on my YouTube channel. I was still working my business a little bit while I was on maternity leave from my corporate job, but I started to realize how important that time was for having like a reset in my mind. And if you know about the proximity principle, which says that you become I think it's around the 4 or 5 closest people that you have around you in your life, that is so true, I think, for what we look at online. And so I try to keep it really authentic here on my channel, which is all about leveling up, and to remind you that it's I think important and wise to find other women who are walking through your season of life, or maybe even a little bit ahead of you, and have reached those maybe desires or goals that you have, and kind of look at what they're doing, take some of their wisdom and see, does that align with the way that you want your life to look? Does that make you feel encouraged, or are you still kind of longing for something that you now really need to sort of move forward from, right? And so it's so important to curate the content that you are taking in online. Go and look at who you're following, what's in your list, what types of articles you're reading and books that you're checking out. I think it's just, we want to be filling our minds with positive portrayals of motherhood and avoid that negativity. That's the other thing about why you want to curate your content. Our society in general, especially here in the US, is just not really geared towards the family anymore. And so I think that it can be a lot more difficult, of course, if you're seeing all of the, yes, very relatable content when it comes to parenting. I get it. There's a lot of mess. There is what I call a lot of grubbiness throughout the day. That's not glamorous at all. And, we really have to be careful with taking that in, that sort of mediocre motherhood, right? I realized I want to bring excellence to all aspects of my life, and I don't want to commiserate with a negative portrayal of motherhood, even though, yes, there are some points that might be relatable. The second habit that I think is so important to implement is to get ready for your day. Now, I'm not talking about getting ready like you're about to go on camera and shoot a TV show, not at all. I think that you can ramp this up as your children go through different stages in life. Newborn stage, you're in survival mode, and so I think that just find the most basic, simple thing that will make you feel like you have gotten ready for your day. It might be just changing out of your last night's pajamas and changing into a new beautiful robe for the day. It might be just swiping on a little bit of mascara. I really wanted to get a 5-minute sort of makeup routine down, which was very minimal, and that is like my everyday makeup that I go to now, which I feel put together enough where if I need to run out, I'm fine to run out. I could easily present myself in front of someone, and that helped me a lot to just feel like I had gotten ready for my day and I was showing up to do my best, no matter whether I was going to be in and out of the house or just staying at home all day with my daughter. So there can be little things that work for you that you can find, but no matter what, I think it's so important to just get ready for your day in some way, shape, or form. Number 3, now this is going to be something you're going to want to be thoughtful about, and also if you are very early postpartum, you need to definitely be cleared for, but that is exercise. Create an exercise routine and keep to it. Oh my goodness, this is something that I see so many moms just make the first thing to go. And really a lot of us, when we get busy, we let this exercise routine go out the window. And in the beginning, walking and yoga was what really helped me to find a little bit of a break in the day. It also gave me a lot of energy. So even though I was very, very tired, and even now when I get very, very tired, if I go for a walk in the middle of the day, I feel re-energized. If you stay moving, you will more than likely feel re-energized. It's like the second that I sit down or think, okay, I'm going to put my feet up for a little bit, it is very hard to get back up and keep going throughout the rest of my day. Something that really worked for me was, again, walking and yoga in the very beginning. Once I was cleared, I made sure that I had arranged some way that I could go to the gym. At first, we didn't have childcare for the first full year. At first, I would just have my husband stay home with the baby, and I would go into the gym for at least 30 minutes. I also really love the Mommalay app. I don't know if you've heard of that, and this is not at all sponsored. I don't even have an affiliate link or anything. I love this app because I think the more that you can eliminate yourself from having to make decisions or extra plans, the better, the more likely you're going to stick to a new habit and build from there. So this app has so many wonderful plans for women specifically. It has prenatal plans, postpartum plans, and then just regular fitness plans, along with a ton of recipes. You can meal plan on it, and you can even count macros if that's something that you're doing to get back in shape after baby. I think that it has been wonderful for me. I have been using it since January of this year and really seen a difference in my ability to show up through the gym. So I'm hoping that all the way through my 3rd trimester of pregnancy, I will be able to stick to the prenatal workout that I have been doing. But I do lift weights, and I do go to yoga classes as well right now, and plus walking almost every other day. So that is just a routine for me that really works and I love, and I'm energized by it. So as long as I can get myself to the gym, I know that I already have a workout waiting for me there, and it really does help my day. I think it's an important habit for someone who is working to reinvent themselves. Exercise alone, besides your health benefits, it has great mental benefits, and of course there are wonderful benefits for building discipline in your life and for being able to show yourself that when you show up and you do something hard, you are capable. And so I just feel so strong when I complete a workout. I think you will too. It is time to set this habit. This 4th thing I think is so important, and again, something that I would encourage you not to overlook, but try and keep at least one of your passions going that you had pre-baby. So for example, mine was YouTube. I really had gotten to a place where I enjoyed sharing videos here on YouTube, and I did take a maternity leave from YouTube. And then earlier this year, I took another break from YouTube that was almost 2 or 3 months long, almost 3 months, I think. And I found little ways that I could keep myself going through that. And it can be frustrating, I think, too, for some of us who are ambitious and we are just sitting there thinking, we have FOMO, we're thinking about the things we might be missing out on, the opportunities, the fun that we could be having by pursuing our passions. And that's why I think it's so important to have that in some way, shape, or form continue throughout motherhood. While I was on maternity leave, I would write down ideas for videos that I would have in my head, or I would just journal what I was experiencing and going through, and I would remind myself, one day I'm going to share this on YouTube so that some other ladies out there will be encouraged and will be able to work through this. And I think that's, again, so important to find ways to, during different seasons of your life, keep your passions going, keep your fire alive, because there are a lot of things that last year, especially while I was learning motherhood, is what it felt like, I did put down on the back burner. Remind yourself that with some of those things, you have to be ruthless with those as you prioritize your time. There is just no way around that. And you want to, of course, make sure you show up for your family. You don't want to just leave everyone out to dry. We experienced the whole topic of mom guilt, which is another topic for a completely different video that we could talk about forever. But I just think we've got to find ways that we can have a little bit of something that brings some brightness to our days and gives us something to look forward to. Again, something besides just having that mommy wine time and Netflix every single night. There's more to life than that. So pursue your passions in some way, shape, or form as you go throughout this season of early motherhood. Last but not least, this is something that I wish I would have done much earlier on, but it took me over a year, I think, of motherhood to get to this point. Create intentional friendships with other moms. Now hear me out, because I know that all of us, myself included, have had negative experiences with other women. And if you are in this space of searching for the ability to reinvent yourself, level up your life, and live a more elegant life as a mom, that does make it a little bit more challenging to find. There's a couple of reasons for that. Well, there's really a lot of reasons for that, but a couple of reasons that stick out to me for why that is, that it is a little bit harder to find moms that are on this journey as well. There's a lot of mom shaming that goes on. There's a lot of, I think, a lot of moms just don't want to speak out what they're working on and why, because it might make them seem selfish, or other moms can get jealous. And really, okay, I'm not gonna even go there right now, but this is so important, because especially if you don't have family around, you need to find other moms that you can relate to and you can find support through, and I don't know, just community with. I think that it's an important aspect that I want to be better about in real life. And I joined a mom's group at the beginning of this year, and while I did not make some deeper friendships from that, I did find a lot of the, hey, you're not alone in this sort of feeling and encouragement. And so it was really nice to just have a dedicated space every other week to come together and just talk about things and learn from each other. There were some moms that were a few years ahead of me. That was really nice. There were some moms that were in that same season of motherhood as me, and that was amazing. So, besides the play dates that we were able to set up, it was just a really wonderful encouragement for me. And you do need to be intentional and a little bit selective about the moms that you invite closer in, right? But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to do that. I think, there's seasons where we can lead others, and then there are seasons where we really just need to be led and have the mentorship and have the relationships that really bring us through. That is going to wrap up this video. this, I hope, was an encouraging video, gives you something to think about. These habits are just now a part of my life. These are things sometimes, like I said, in different seasons, when I bring my second one into the family, I'm going to have to reset some of these and sort of, you know, refigure things out and how it's going to work for us as a family. But these are really great ways to reinvent yourself as a mom. Start here. They are things that do not have to be overcomplicated just to get the trajectory going and to help you build momentum. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have not seen one of these videos here on the screen, I would invite you to check those out, and I will see you there. Until next time, bye.